Welcome back to the Taom Shootout live from Aberdeen. We've just seen a comprehensive 4-0 victory for George Tierney over Dennis Taylor, and Dennis has made the trip from the arena into the commentary box, and he's going to talk us through this match.
I'm absolutely exhausted after that one. Yeah, absolutely exhausted after that one, Simon. He played well, George. That was the best anyone's played against me. I enjoyed yesterday, though. It's good. I enjoyed the match with Chris Smelling, but a lot of fun, really enjoying it up here in Aberdeen.
Yeah, there's a good atmosphere out in the arena, and the players are really there to interact with the crowd, and you certainly do your part of that.
Yeah, I think so. And the response they're getting from social media is terrific as well. So, and of course, friends watching on Freesports, that they were a bit shocked when they seen me on the pool table with a T-shirt on and lots of logos. So, yeah, joining in the Christmas spirit here.
Yeah, of course you're not done yet. You've got one more match to come later on today.
Yeah, one more. I think it's about 4:45. So, yeah, and then we're into the quarter-final stages. So it's all getting a bit tense out there. But as I say, the crowd are superb here. Great to be back in Aberdeen.
Well, the matchup we've got now is Frazer Allen versus Darren Matthews. It's a really interesting matchup from Group 4. Darren Matthews, 2 matches, 1 win, 1 draw for 3 points. Frazer Allen, 1 win and 1 loss for 2 points. Martin McIntosh sits at top of the table with 4 points. So this is going to be a really close group all the way through to the conclusion. Both these players still very much in the hunt for the quarterfinals.
Martin will be having his kilt on again tonight. That was great with the pipers last night, wasn't it? A bit special, that.
Yeah, that was a great walk-on. He really wanted to do something special for that, and he certainly did. He didn't let us down on the table either. He played some really good pool yesterday. I know that he was worried that he was going to struggle with all the things he's been doing behind the scenes, but he played very well. That's why he sits at top of the group.
Yeah, very impressed with Chris Smelling, though. His cue action's terrific. You can tell that he was a very good snooker player as well, but lovely cue action.
Yeah, he's pretty good with any form of the game. Tried his hand at snooker for a while, but he does have that sort of cue action, doesn't he? Very long and really nice.
That's a nice shot there from... now the black ball there is going to be a bit tricky. Don't know what he can do with this. He can't see enough of it, so... Or can he?
He's going to try and play this in with some side. Wow. Did not think that was possible. Well, it's gone in. And he's celebrating. I was waiting for the referee to sort of call foul, but it looked to be good.
I think from the angle we were looking at it, maybe he did just get enough side to straighten the black ball up there. But he's certainly enjoying himself now. He's a bit of a character, this, isn't he?
He really is. It was a tough day for him yesterday because he had to wait almost to the very end of the day to get his first taste of action. He didn't play in the afternoon session, played last match of the evening session, and he only got 1 game yesterday. So he wasn't at his best yesterday, that's fair to say. He's probably the standout player in this group. But this morning, we saw a little bit more of what he's capable of.
He's certainly enjoying himself there. I don't think we can get him onto strictly with that sort of moves he's pulling off there, but we never know.
Well, maybe he's auditioning. He's certainly enjoying himself. So Frazer Allen to break off in frame 2, and it's a good break. He's made a ball. He's made 2 balls. It's a reasonable split. If he could get an opening yellow, then these yellows are quite nice.
Got a chance now, Simon. I didn't think that red would pass the red and yellow into the middle pocket, but it clearly did.
Yeah, he's back into perfect position, isn't he? Everything's in the open.
And the yellow next to the red there, that's close to the black ball's in a pretty good spot. You know, if he gets on that straight into the left corner, the black's just there waiting. You just got to leave the white where the yellow is.
Has to be careful not to leave a bad angle because I don't think the black goes into the same pocket. Straight is perfect. He's a little bit off straight, but I think he can probably just rest into that red and nudge it out the way. just about. Excellent stuff, and a great response from Frazer Allen. Ties the scores up at 1 frame all. Need to give you an early warning that we're coming off air at 12:55, regardless of where we are. So we've got about another 10 or 12 minutes or so, so we may not quite get the conclusion of this match. And the last couple of matches of the afternoon session we are not going to fit in, which is a shame, as we still got Callum Singleton against John Roberts and Mike Clark versus Simon Fitzsimmons to come. So 12:55 we'll be off air, but we'll be back. We're back on air for the afternoon session. The afternoon session will get underway at 3 o'clock. And then we're back for our third session of the day this evening for the quarter-finals. Not the best of breaks for Darren Matthew after fairly congested table, and hasn't really left a great opening pot, but it's Frazer Allen that has the opportunity. Have you spent much time in the arena outside of your matches, Dennis, time taking the atmosphere?
Yeah, it's nice to watch the players, see how they think the game. It's all about patterns, isn't it? And I just found the white being smaller. I was struggling with the reaction I was getting from the white. I was misjudging that. It's totally different to snooker, but certainly enjoyed it. And once you get the hang of it, then you can more or less see at the start of the frame, you know, where you can go on and clear up. Yeah.
In snooker, you'd say that the players are sort of thinking 3-4 shots ahead, and in that sort of way. But in the pool, these top guys, you know, Chris Melling, he's thinking about the whole clearance, thinking 8 pots at a time.
Yeah, totally different. You've got to see a pattern there and just follow it. Yeah. Whereas at snooker, yeah, you're right. You're no more than 3 or 4 shots ahead, because you're putting the cue ball in sort of different positions where you're leaving yourself options. You know, you can change your mind and you put the white where you've got a choice of balls.
Good positional shot here from Frazer, and he could be in the driving seat in this frame. And that's not bad, especially as the black may need just a little nudge open. He's got the perfect angle to do so.
I just had a look at it. The black does pot, but from that overhead picture here, I think it was tied up, but it is available, although he hasn't got the perfect angle to get onto to that middle pocket that it'll go to.
And it's gone wrong. Decided to play into it. Felt he couldn't hold and snookered himself on the black.
Yeah, those are the type of shots with the white being a bit lighter at this game. It's very difficult to judge it. That's where the experience comes in. That particular type of shot, just knowing, you know, what sort of or how much bottom to play it with.
It's good contact, but it's not going to go in. It's something that Chris Mellon's done so well. He really showcased it so far this weekend. When he's needed a cannon, he's not just got the cannon, he's got such a precise cannon. He's got exactly what he needed to, and at the right pace.
And talking about cannons, he's going to, he's going to play the old snooker, the old Cliff Thorburn grinder shot.
Yeah, grind him down. He's just about played it firm enough. The key for that shot was actually to develop the 2 yellows at the same time as getting the snooker.
Just ask you, Simon, if he comes off 2 cushions and just nestles on the black, is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. The rules are that you have to hit a cushion after contact with the object ball unless you are total snookered, which he was there, so he could have played the shot that you suggested.
He could have tried to snooker him in behind it. I thought it was worth the risk there, because that might have cost him this frame here.
I think more often than not, I agree with you that there are times when that's worth the risk, and that may well be one of those occasions. But you see a lot of players, they take the view that try and hit it firm, try and make something happen. You know, you never know, you might fluke it, you might mess up the table for your opponent. But there are times if you can put them in a good snooker from that situation, then it's worth it.
I think old Satnav Selby, Mark Selby, who used to play a lot of pool, would have probably nestled in behind that there.
Yeah, Mark Selby won the World Championships a few years ago. Well, it is Darren Matthew that gets in front once again. Frazer Allen had the first opportunity. He'd be disappointed not to land on that black, but ever since then it was all Darren Matthew. And he's back in front.
I just got a funny feeling this might go to the last frame if we don't run out of time.
Yeah, I'd say about half the matches so far have been done by the clock, whereas half the matches have been won by a player getting to 4 frames. It is a race to 4 or a 20-frame match. I think this one is... Well, they're going to have to get a bit of a move on if they're going to get to 4.
It's a bit like the shootout at snooker that they've brought into the game. It's quite exciting, noisy. It's a good addition to the snooker calendar, is the shootout, 1-frame shootout.
I think there was a lot of inspiration. I don't know. I'd have to speak to the organiser, but I think there was a lot of inspiration from that event for this one. There's a lot of similarities, and it's nice to see that's disappointing from Frazer, especially having just gone behind. But yeah, there's some it's great to see the snooker players in the shootout, just seeing a different side of them. It's a lot more light-hearted, a lot more fun to see their personalities come out.
I was surprised that they did make it a ranking event with 1 frame, but there you go, Mr. Hearn, the main man, decided that it should be a ranking tournament.
Yeah, I agree with you. Although you can see why he wants to get the top players to play in it.
I think if he's dead straight on this, he can screw it back, and he should be perfect. Yeah.
So often the way when you pop the cue ball off the break, you give your opponent that opportunity just to open the table up with your first shot, and then more often than not they will fly through a clearance. And that's exactly what has happened here. Darren Matthew moves 2 frames ahead, 3-1 up now. He's edging himself into a very strong position in this group. Victory would put him to 5 points and take him to the top of the table with 1 match left. It's actually a very interesting group. Martin McIntosh currently sits at the top of the table with 4 points from his 2 matches. Paddy McCarron has 3 points from his 3 matches. And Darren Matthew has 3 points from his 2 matches. Frazer Allen has 1 win and 1 loss for 2 points. And Davy Dornan is pointless at the bottom of the table and will be out of the tournament. So any of the other 4 could actually still make it through. And this will make it very difficult for Frazer if he does go on to lose this match.
Yeah, you just mentioned Martin McIntosh there. He's put quite a bit of work into this with the organisers, hasn't he? I think he was keen to get it to Aberdeen.
Yeah, he wasn't as involved, I think, for the start with the organisers when this event was first, or this series was first thought about. And then once he got involved, he's just sort of run with it. And ever since it was coming to Aberdeen, his hometown, he really wanted to get involved and do his bit. And he's done a fantastic job. It really is a great atmosphere and a great arena out there.
Well, I said I thought it was going to go all the way. Can I change my mind now, Simon? He's flying at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, this could be over in a matter of seconds. Well, that is the match. He has absolutely Didn't play this afternoon, but he sits very pretty at the top of the table with 6 points. James Jack has 4 points with a good victory this afternoon. Jordan Shepherd, the star of the show, he hasn't played this afternoon. He has 2 matches this evening on 2. Plenty still to come in that group. Group 2, Chris Melling, he's through. Alan Dixon and George Tierney look like they're playing off for a place in the quarter-finals. It's still mathematically possible for one of the favourites, Liam Dunstop, but highly unlikely. In Group 3, Mark Boyle, who didn't play this afternoon, 2 wins from 2, still sits at the top. Behind that, everyone's on 2 points, so that is going to be a very interesting climax this afternoon. Group 4, we've just seen Darren Matthew with a win go to the top of the table. Martin McIntosh didn't play this morning, but he still sits there with 4 points with 2 wins from 2. But there's 4 players still looking to get their place in the quarterfinals from that group. Well, that will be all the action we have for you this morning. It's going to be a very short break before we're back. We're going to be back on air at 3 p.m. But for now, from everyone here in Aberdeen, it's a very good afternoon.